I'll just wait for Linda to come back into the Zoom and we'll crack on. But tonight, I'm really looking forward to having a discussion with Linda because Linda's been working with me for a couple of months now, and we have actually made some amazing shifts because she has actually come to me with symptoms of a thyroid condition. However, when we actually did all of the functional testing, we found that there actually wasn't a thyroid condition. And this is an example of where, sometimes you can have symptoms of thyroid, but when we actually do all the testing, it's actually something else. And then there were other things that were going on for Linda. So tonight we're going to be discussing with Linda, her journey so that you can get an understanding and a clear view of what it's like to work on the inside, working with me in the thyroid restoration roadmap to help you shift through with your symptoms, to help you shift from A to B and actually get the results that you're after. Because Linda has made some amazing health transformations, and I'm very, very excited to have her on. I'm just wondering where she is, so I'm just trying to just bear with me for one moment. Hold on for a moment. Here we go. Okay, that was actually my fault. Linda's here. Okay, sorry about that, Linda. I was actually thinking, when's the ding coming? But it obviously was already there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm just going to get to the other screen in a moment so that I can actually see. Hi, hey, oh, we've got some people on already. Fantastic. So we've got Deb here, beautiful. Lovely to see you again here, Deb. And we've got Kath, fantastic. Awesome. All right, so as you come in, let me know that you're here. Give me a heart, give me a thumbs up. If you're watching the replay, please do a hashtag replay. And I hope you weren't waiting in the waiting room for too long, Linda, because...
No, not at all.
She's actually in. You were here. You were waiting for me. So beautiful to have you here. So let's just kick off. I just wanted to ask you, firstly, if you can just explain to the viewers. So Linda and I, as I mentioned in the little introduction, Linda and I have been working together for a couple of months now. And when we met by chance, because I happen to be helping out a beautiful day spa up in Nelson Bay, and I gave you a massage. So we kind of met by chance and we had a discussion, and then you reached out after a couple of months' time. And now, well, the rest is history. So I'd love you to just explain to the viewers, what were some of the challenges you were going through and that you had obstacles against, which actually made you take that leap of faith and begin to work with me.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. And yeah, my journey with you has been amazing. It's been so quick and so much has happened. So basically what made me decide to reach out to you was just the pain that I've been experiencing through as I'm getting older and everything. And arthritis has gifted me some pain in my hands and my feet. My feet were so bad that basically getting up during the night, I had to hold on to the walls to walk to the bathroom. My hands, fingers are just changing shape and everything. And I can actually feel with the pain how, the bones and everything are just growing inside my knuckles. So yeah, the pain was basically one of the things that made me reach out. Because I've always been into health and fitness, being a personal trainer, I didn't want to go the chemical way and the medicine way and everything. And I thought, well, going the naturopath way is definitely something that I want to experience and, just give that a go rather than go for the injections and painkillers and stuff all the time, which just messes around with your body. So that was my main goal, to reduce the pain. I know the arthritis is there. It's probably never going to go away. So I've been told by my GP. But I think just the fact that my pain has reduced so much just since being on your pathway of health and fitness. So I've been, as I said, I've been in fitness for over 15 years. So my mindset is, just I cannot stop exercising, but my pain was stopping me from enjoying the exercise that I was wanting to do. And I just had to do something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, just what I've achieved with you has definitely made my pain more bearable and
Yes.
reduced it so much, but more than 70%.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Because you know what? I can totally relate and understand that, when you've got a passion for fitness, and especially with your, past career as a personal trainer, and, wanting to do what you really love to do, what really actually sets your heart on fire, and then being stifled and unable to do that because of debilitating symptoms such as pain. I mean, it can be quite crushing. And I remember when we first met, you were quite down about that all, which is quite understandable.
Yeah,
And
that's correct. I think because I wasn't able to achieve my fitness to the level that I was accustomed to, it messed around with my mind. So my emotions, my mood became quite depressed. I just felt down. I felt useless. I felt like, I reached another decade in my life, and realized, wow, age is catching up on me now. And if I don't continue to exercise, as my GP actually said to me, because I asked him, what can I do? And he just said, well, just accept the fact that one day you might be in a wheelchair. And I said, hang on a minute, that's a bit cruel. That was very cruel. And I will never see that doctor again.
oh my goodness,
Yeah, so just turning 60, and I thought, my body is not functioning the way it did when I was 40, and I was really at the top of my fitness then, and having to give up moves and running, and not running, but running in a gym class. I just wasn't able to do it. I was in too much pain on my feet. Your hands, you can still sort of like do things, but when your feet hurt, you have to walk. So even walking was, and I tried everything. I tried orthotics. I tried, just different runners, everything, but nothing seemed to reduce the pain. But, yeah.
And that's the thing, like with with osteoarthritis, I mean, there's obviously, it can affect obviously specific joints, but then if the terrain in the body is such that there's inflammation, like systemic inflammation, well, then it can be really difficult to put out those little spot fires if there's actually a little inferno going on in the whole body. So we were able to address what was actually going on in your body on a systemic level to actually modify and make some significant changes. I'll actually hand that back over to you now. Can you, what are the particular strategies or support that you found, within the thyroid restoration roadmap, working with me, that actually helped you shift through to improve your health?
Yeah. So I think the extensive testing that you did with me, which was basically the organic acid test, the blood test, and the hair sample test, revealing all the what I thought I was managing well was my diet and everything, but all those tests basically revealed that my body was not absorbing the nutrients that I was consuming, even though my diet the last couple of months before meeting you was not great. And I think that was more emotional eating, grabbing that bag of popcorn just because I could, and not because I really wanted to, but it was just the way I was coping with my emotional stress of the pain that I was going through, knowing that I was feeding that fuel, feeding that fire at the same time, but my mindset was, I'm just aging anyway, I'm just getting old anyway, and I've got pain anyway, so I may as well just eat that biscuit, and I might just eat those chips, and yeah, knowing that it's not good for me, but I was still doing it. Yeah, so all the testing that you did with me basically revealed the lack of nutrients that my body was holding and leading to the osteoporosis in my lower L4, L5 facet joints in my back. And yeah, just having not enough nutrition in my body and knowing that as you age and getting the osteoporosis in your bones and osteopenia and yeah, bone density declining as it is as you age, I just realized, no, this is not going the right direction. Yeah, so it was really good to know that lactic acid was absolutely strife in my body. You know, the lack of vitamin B, CoQ10, aminos. Yeah, I was using protein shakes, but obviously my body wasn't absorbing those aminos in the protein shakes.
That's right.
And just with the knowledge that you've given me, I've realized now that you know, just feeding my body correctly, putting out those fires inside my hands and feet, I'm starting to feel so much better. And it didn't take long. Look, I'm not totally pain-free. I think it's more a stiffness pain that I'm feeling rather than an inflamed pain. And just through doing detox, I'm on to my second detox now. But the first detox was amazing how quickly I felt better.
Yeah. And just for the viewers there are so many different levels of detox, right? So there's kind of like a clean eating detox, there's an anti-inflammatory detox, there's just really up leveling your the organs that actually help you detox. You know, there are so many different levels. And, you know, for Linda, we did a level that actually suited Linda. Yeah. So, you know, some people say to me, oh no, I'm scared of a detox, you know, it's not just, you know, like juicing and, you know, weird food, you know.
No, anybody can do it. If you can eat a vegetable, you can detox. If you can have a piece of fruit, you can detox. It's just eliminating a few of those horrible things that we like to eat. Before the detox, and for many years, I haven't, I'm not an alcohol. I don't enjoy alcohol. I've never been a smoker, and I was already sort of doing gluten-free, dairy-free by using more the nut milks and so on. So it wasn't hard for me to reduce those things, even though cheese is my downfall and I just love cheese. But even that, I haven't, my palate hasn't asked for it. So
because your body's getting what it needs.
Exactly. Yeah.
I find that fascinating. You know, like cravings, generally when there's a craving, it's because the underlying factor is that, you know, the body always chooses the path of least resistance. So it will crave what it wants to get it in quickly, you know. So it will, for example, fatigue. What is it? It's a sugar craving generally, you know. Cheese, well, it could be the calcium, you know. Like there are so many different factors involved, and then there's the emotional elements as well. But when we do that level of testing where we actually know what is not getting in, even though it should be getting in, well, then we can upregulate all the areas, like what we've done with Linda, to help her body absorb those minerals. And, you know, of course, you know, with situations like this, there's quite often a supplementary protocol, which is to get you from A to B. A supplementary protocol is only ever designed to get you from A to B. It's not supposed to be a lifelong situation, although sometimes there can be, like, if depending on how big the hole is in the bucket, there can be prolonged supplementation just of a couple of key elements for a period of time. But everything has a time frame, and that's what we're working on at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also doing the detox, you do shed a few kilos. It may not be fat, but climbing on the scale and seeing that your weight's dropped down 1 or 2 kilos, emotionally, that's good for any woman to be honest, even though I don't really have weight to lose. Probably gained maybe 2 or 3 kilos in the last 10 years. But I think for any woman, and knowing from the fitness industry, any woman wants to lose a kilo or two.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. I mean, unless you're hyperthyroid, and that's kind of a completely different situation. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think you're right there. I think you're right there. I mean, it's interesting. You know, you always feel better in your body if you're, you know, that right weight that feels good in your body, and
yeah.
quite often it's a few kilos less than what you are. It's
And
true.
less bloating. I mean, you know, cutting out the gluten and the dairy and getting all that fiber through your fruit and veggies. You know, having the softer belly is an absolute bonus.
Yeah, because you didn't really have marked digestive symptoms when we met,
No.
but then when we were working together, you noticed that your digestive system improved.
Yes,
You know, that wasn't like a major area. So that was like a nice bonus too, wasn't it? Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
And when we met, sorry, I just thought I'd bring this in. When we met, you were unsure if you had a thyroid condition, probably because I'm just retrospective thinking now, because you were feeling so low and because you had, you know, low mood and, you know, those different emotions, you were unsure.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, which
that's
is,
right.
yeah. So when we actually nutted it out, that it's actually, um, you know, I'm not playing it down, but really it was quite an easy fix because you already had that fitness mindset. You've already got that mindset of wanting to be well, apart from that one time when the doctor said, well, just look forward to a wheelchair or whatever it was that he said. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, so I can imagine how that would just really just dash all sense of hope. But now, you know, you're into your swimming and yeah, you're doing all of the things that you love to do, which is fantastic. It's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
I'm able to get up at 5:30 in the morning and walk at 6 o'clock for 5 kilometers. So it's a big change from almost crawling to the bathroom.
That's a massive change. That's awesome. And what is it? It's been what, just over 3 months?
Correct.
Almost
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. So yeah, that's just fantastic. That's amazing. No wonder you were jumping at doing this next detox. You know, I don't blame you because, you know, as we know, health is expansive. You know, when you think, oh yeah, this is it, often you can just nudge it and go a little bit further and even have better health, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So, okay, so thanks very much for that. So, I just want to ask you this question. So, how has this changed your life? So, you know, I really want you to just feel into the gravity of this because several months ago, you couldn't do what you loved doing, and I just love you to just express that to the audience how that's changed, how this has changed your life.
Yeah. It's changed my life by 80% better. Um, less pain, better mood, more energy, absolutely a lot more energy, sleeping well, loving life again, really. Just feeling better, just not thinking of I'm getting old because I'm not feeling I'm getting old. And that to me was a big thing. I felt like every day I was just getting old, and you know, you can't stop the wrinkles, but you can certainly stop losing that muscle, and you can only do that if you can move. If you can't move, it's very difficult. And I really feel for people older than me, who are almost immobile. You know, I've worked in aged care and I've seen it happening. But then I've also worked with elderly clients, and just through training them and strengthening them, it was just important to me that I don't land up in a position where of people that I've seen declining. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and you know, you're a excuse me, you're a fitness instructor. So, you know, you've seen firsthand and like, I'm always advocating exercise, you know, whether you've got a thyroid condition or not, some level of exercise, you know, something that is manageable, and then you can shift up and move on from there. So you're being a fitness instructor, I'm pretty sure you agree with me there.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, there's all different levels of fitness, from triathlons to aqua, which is so good for the body, being in water.
Like, oh yes, like the aqua classes. They're
Yes,
brilliant.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I've actually invested in a rebounder, and many people say, oh, but they're so unsafe, but they're actually not. So just draining your lymphatic system, honestly, when you start jumping on a rebounder, you can just feel how everything starts moving inside your body. And you don't have to jump sky high. It's basically just bouncing, you know, just, yeah, it feels great just being on a rebounder.
Brings me back to my childhood. I feel like I need to get one of those.
Well, exactly. I mean, we can
Yeah.
we can jump up and down like skip or whatever. It's the same kind of thing. But
Yeah.
again, you know, as we're getting older, having that impact on sore knees or whatever, it doesn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good way to go, you know, just to build that in with other areas of your fitness, and especially while you're on the rehabilitation as well. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, in what ways has our resources, you know, resources like everything that we um, have to support our clients with in the thyroid restoration roadmap, in what ways has that contributed to your health success?
Oh, absolutely. A holistic approach, mind, body, and soul. So everything that's written in your pathway on the e-portal, honestly, it covers the whole spectrum. So body through your diet, through exercise, mind, there's mindful meditation on your e-portal, which I've been using, and I've also been using other meditation methods. In fact, my swimming up and down a blue line is my form of meditation as well. Sometimes I meditate so hard I forget how many laps I've swum.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's just basically walking your dog. Any form of meditation is good. You don't have to just completely sit in silence, but yeah, just having quiet time, just de-stressing, just relaxing. So I've learned that a lot from your portal, from your information. Yeah, so sound, soul, definitely my soul has improved through just being more relaxed.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I think just getting the right nutrients in my body now, just balancing things out and having a clearer mind, not having that fuzzy feeling in my head. Waking up in the morning and feeling more positive. So many things that you touch in your pathway, and honestly, it covers all avenues of any human being.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful to
Yeah.
hear. Thank you for sharing that, Linda. That's gorgeous. So what advice would you give someone who either has a thyroid challenge or has symptoms of a thyroid challenge or a chronic debilitating condition, and they were sitting on the fence?
Yeah. So as a trainer, I've got to say Nike. Just do it.
Oh, just do it.
Just,
I didn't even, like, it took a while then.
just do it. Just give yourself a massive big gift. You know, you've only got one body.
Yeah.
You only live once. Just do what you have to do to make the best of it. And use people. I don't like using people, but in this case, use people to help you to get to that stage of better health, no matter what your condition is. Even if you have a perfect, which I don't think exists, but even if you have a perfect lifestyle, honestly, you always learn something from somebody else. And yeah, just following the people who have done all the studies and have done all the research, and you know, somebody that can put you on the right track again. I think there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah, oh, that's beautiful. Very wise words there, in my strong opinion, of course. And thank you so much, Linda, for sharing. I mean, if anyone has any questions here, oh, hey, Sharon. Sharon's here. That's beautiful. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you, Camilla. If anyone has any questions, please ask away. You know, we're here. We're here. I'm here with Linda. If anyone has any questions, I mean, because you know what, like, even though I'm a thyroid specializing naturopath, you know, for many years I worked with all different sorts of conditions. I was a general naturopath, and I niched because I saw a gap in the market, and I saw a gap in the way in which a lot of people were being, I'm going to say, mistreated through the biomedical model. And I really wanted to fill that gap, having trodden that pathway myself. However, you know, there are so many different overlaying signs and symptoms. And sometimes, you know, people come to me, and I would say probably 50% of my clients, when we actually do all the testing, they don't have a thyroid condition, which is actually a really good thing, because if you don't have a thyroid condition, well, then what is going on? Well, let's get to the bottom of it. Because what I have found, and working with Linda and many other clients as well, is, you know, the disease name is a label. You know, whether you've got that label or not, we're still going to go deep. We're still going to look at the root causes. We're still going to go and try to understand what's actually causing the problem. Where are the leaks in the bucket? You know, where are the holes in the bucket? You know, why isn't this person absorbing? Why isn't this person detoxing? You know, what is actually going on? And when we actually fine tune and find those missing pieces and actually create a tailored plan that actually underpins the foundational work, well, then that's why it's bespoke to you, because there's what I call like the foundational layers, which is what Linda was explaining a moment ago when she was discussing and talking about the resources in the e-portal. So that's what I call like the foundations, which are actually rooted in naturopathic principles, very holistic. And then we've got the roof of the house, and the roof of the house is your specific treatment plan, which we can only nut out when we get all of the information, which is what we've done with Linda. And that's why Linda has been able to, you know, absolutely thrive in her health. And I have to say, Linda, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you, because you're so proactive. And I love it. You know, like, don't get me wrong, I work with many different types of people, but when we discuss something, you're like, yep, I'm going to implement that. And I have to say, I think that there's something to be said for that, and in the way in which you've gotten quick results, because you were very enthusiastic. You know, you're really wanting to get into the bottom of your health. And when we actually found those missing pieces, you were like, right, okay, let's go. And well, I have to say, were you surprised at how quickly your symptoms improved after having that chronic debilitating, you know, where you couldn't even walk properly to the bathroom?
Yes, I was surprised because I actually physically did it. In my mind, I know that doing an alkaline diet would help me, but it was just getting to that step of doing it. And I needed that push. It's easy to say, I'll start on Monday. But this time I had that push of, right, this is happening now, not on Monday or next week. It's happening now. So, you know, we've all been through that stage, like, I'm going to go on a diet, but I've got a birthday party, and then I've got this, and then I've got that and that and that. No.
Yeah.
Going your pathway, it happens now, not in the future. So that little push, I think, is priceless. It really is.
Yeah. And I think for you as well, you know, when we got those results and you saw, you know, that this was up and that was out of balance and that ratio was out, and, oh, these minerals aren't getting in, and you're not absorbing your protein, your amino acids.
Yeah.
And then we saw, okay, well, here's an alkalizing you kind of mismatch with your minerals. which is, and then that's when we backtracked and discussed, well, that's where the osteopenia has come from, you know. So now we can go about correcting that,
Yeah.
so that, you know, you don't have to, you know, have osteoporosis.
No, and so many people say, oh, you've got it because your mum had it. No, you've got it because your lifestyle hasn't been correct. And your mum's lifestyle was even worse. So that's why she got it.
Exactly, because as we know, and I think many of the viewers know this because I say it time and time again, the genes load the gun, but the environment pulls the trigger. So we have full control over our environment, you know. So our genes, whilst we may have the genetic, you know, predisposition, we can absolutely do everything to change our environment when we understand what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, is actually understanding, and that's where you've made a big change in my life. Me understanding where everything's come from and where everything's gone a bit haywire. Yeah, so my knowledge as a personal trainer, where nutrition was important, was minimal to what I've learned from you. So, yeah, I can only say, you know, don't sit on the fence too long, because body clock's
your
ticking.
life is waiting for you, right?
Body's ticking.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. Yeah, the clock is ticking, and I said at the same time, your life is waiting for you. So,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
I say, when I turned 40, I got reading glasses. When I turned 50, I got glasses full time. When I turned 60, I got arthritis. So no more.
No more. So what's happening when you're 70?
No, no more.
You'll be dancing on the tables and swinging off the chandeliers.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think, you know, when you've got that confidence and you understand now, because you know, you pretty much know your blueprint. You know that with this genetic predisposition, that we haven't actually even properly discussed this, because, you know, we're still working together. Linda and I are still working together. However, you know, we will discuss, you know, that this is your blueprint and this is what I'm going to recommend, you know, X amount of times in the year, so that from now on, you can actually have the longevity and you understand your body so well that you understand that you might do a detox. As I've mentioned to the viewers, I haven't even discussed this with Linda, but you might do a detox every season. Yeah, like a cleanse every season, just to really rein it in and bring it back, you know. And this is the thing, you know, we bespoke it to the individual so that you can actually, like, with that information, of course you can take it or leave it, but if you take it on board, then even beyond the 3-4 months that we've been working together, you can absolutely take your health to new heights. To new heights, so that in, say, 6 months' time or 12 months' time or even 2 years' time, you can look back and go, wow, well, that set the terrain for the rest of my life, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know what? And as we know, things happen, and I'm just speaking generally now, you know, things happen, and sometimes there's a little, like, our health isn't linear, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't always just go, you know, sometimes it's like up, down, and then, you know, because there are so many variables, there are so many impacts, there are so many external situations, that some of which when we have no control over, you know, particular stresses or particular life events or whatever it is. So when that happens, you know, my wish for everyone who comes and works with me for this 3-4 months time is that in the future you can look back and go, oh, okay, this has happened. I've got a bump in the road. I actually know what to do for myself because I have tapped into my body's wisdom. I have gone inward to my heart consciousness and understand what my body needs, because your body is on your side. You know, and Linda knows that now. Like,
Yeah.
Linda, your body is on your side. And when you can actually understand and learn the wisdom that your body's trying to tell you, and then when you back it up with functional testing, because, you know, our human brain isn't quite, what's the word? Possibly we haven't evolved to that level where we can really just tune in and get the answers straight away. So with functional testing, it just kind of gives us that leap forward where we get that knowledge. And then when we know how to apply that knowledge through dietary changes, through lifestyle changes, and all these little tweaks, and bringing in all of these other holistic elements, well, that's when you can absolutely make an incredible health shift and what I like to call a health transformation. So I think it's beautiful, and I'm so glad that you took that leap of faith and we had that conversation several months ago, because yeah, look at you now. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fantastic.
I have a lot to be grateful for right now.
No, I'm very grateful for you too. Goes both ways. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Linda. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here, and it's been a pleasure to work with you this time. And I can only see, you know, your health even getting better and better, and improving even more and more. And you know, we've still got time together, and let's just see how much more we can push this. You know, because I truly believe that health is expansive, and sometimes when you think, oh yeah, this is good, then in a few weeks' time you go, oh, actually, no, now this is good. You know, it's like it gets better and better when you're on the right path. That's for sure.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So do you have? I'm just gonna check back into the group. Any questions? No questions. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, no questions at this point. So if anyone has, which detox Camilla is saying? Is this a group thing? Oh, great question, Camilla. Do you know what? I used to do a group thing many years ago, but actually because everyone has a completely different symptom picture, it can kind of be both. Like sometimes there are people doing it concurrently, kind of in like a group. So we share some of our inspirations. However, the actual nuts and bolts of the detox is very tailored. Yeah, because you know, some people have intolerances, other people have different things that they can eat, different things that they can't eat, and we're working towards different goals. So it's kind of a little bit of both. I hope that explains things. Yeah. But yeah, it's very tailored. Like, so for example, some of my clients at the moment aren't doing a detox because it's just not the right timing, and then others are. And but generally throughout the time that we're working together, there's some level of detox, because it wouldn't be a naturopathic program if there wasn't. I would have to say. Yeah, because you know, all health starts in the gut, is my true belief. You know, whether it's a thyroid imbalance, whether it's you know, perimenopausal symptoms, or any other type of digestive distress or chronic disease, you know, if we fix the gut, we fix the accessory organs that are digestive organs, and we actually get the absorption happening and the detoxing happening, and we get all of those, that clockwork working fantastically, generally there can be a major health shift. And then obviously we've got other things to work on as well, such as, you know, hormonal balance and stress management, etc. So great question. I hope that answered it. Fantastic. I had another question above about the testing. Okay, let me just have a look. Sorry. Yep. Which testing is about absorption? Can this be done online or in person only? Okay, so with testing, like there are so many different functional tests, Camilla, that you can do. And what we normally do is after our deep dive consultation, that's when from the symptom picture, I can ascertain where there's some missing pieces of information. Because with Linda, for example, we didn't know that there was an absorption problem. We didn't know, you know, Linda didn't actually have any digestive issues, no marked digestive issues. However, when we actually found that through you know, the metabolites, that actually there was an absorption problem in this pathway, because the energy of the cell wasn't, you know, the energy wasn't getting to where it needed to go. Well, that's when we could actually pinpoint what was going on. So to be honest, we came to that conclusion from a few different tests. Sometimes we can find it through a gut function test, other times it's an organic acids test, other times it's a hair tissue mineral analysis test, And then we couple that with signs and symptoms. And in Linda's case, it was, her body was throwing off, there were blocks in the metabolic pathway, which gave an clear indication that there wasn't enough certain B vitamins and amino acids that were actually helping to propel that pathway forward. So we're talking about the energy pathway, like the Krebs cycle, etc. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, often we come to that conclusion from quite a few different tests, not just one in isolation. And it's always in correlation with the person that's actually in front of you, like who we're working with, because everyone has different sets of signs and symptoms. So yeah, but you know what, Camilla, if anyone would like to have a private discussion with me about their symptom picture and what, after a short 10-minute discussion, what pathway I feel could be worth exploring, just write testing in the comments and we can actually set up a call. So Camilla, we can set up a call if you like, just so that I can get to understand a little bit more about you. We've had a discussion once before, I remember. And from there, I can probably ascertain what tests are the most likely ones that we would do should we work together. So if anyone would like to have that discussion with me, just write testing in the comments. And if you're coming in on the replay, certainly, you're welcome to ask any questions, and I'll check this chat across the next few days to answer your questions. So fantastic. All right, well, that's it from us, and thanks again so much, Linda, for coming on board, and I really, really appreciate it. And if you're sitting on the fence, you've heard it from Linda, just do it. Just do it. So reach out to me, we can have a chat. So if you're ready to do it, just write I'm ready, and we'll have a discussion, and I will show you what that will look like for you in a potential pathway for you moving forward. Fantastic. All right, well, any last remarks, Linda, or do you feel like that's a wrap?
No, I think that's a wrap. I think, like I said, the fence is not the comfortable place to be.
No, it's not. Actually, it can be very uncomfortable depending on what fence it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks so much. And thanks to everyone else for your contributions and your questions, and bring them in and we'll answer them over the next few days. And I'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Megan.
Bye.